like many things in life, there aren't guarantees with love, with dating, with romance, but there are ways that we can increase our probability for success. And I wanted to try and think through a framework that would work for me or that could work for me in at least helping me take those initial steps to move the probability in my favor. And so, diving into the analytical piece, I said, is there a way to reverse engineer that? So, I began working backwards. I said, all right, if I want a life partner, then before that's going to happen, I'm going to need to have a girlfriend or perhaps a few girlfriends to understand, who am I most compatible with? And before the girlfriend, there's going to be a date that I go on with this woman. And before that, I'm going to ask someone out or we're going to connect on an app. So I then started looking for what type of research had been done on how many, for example, women might need to ask out to get a single date. Like, has there been research that's been done on this? And sure enough, there is. There was a team of French researchers who sent undergraduates out into the field, as it were, and they split them into two different research groups. One of them was charged with the idea of going up to someone and just asking point blank, hey, would you be interested in going on a date with me? It's a very direct approach. The other was would go up and ask something more along the lines of, hey, can I have can I have a light for my cigarette? It's France, a lot of people smoke, or can I have directions? And then after the original ask, kind of this small favor first approach, they would then return with this idea of, I thought you had really great energy. I would love to, take you out on a date. And what they found in terms of like overall success was one, that latter approach was much more successful, and two, that on average we see that when men are asking women for dates, there's about a 20% success rate. So about 1 in 5 would say yes. And so I took that as a building block for, all right, so why don't I just assume that for every 5 people who I'm interested and ask, hey, would you like to go grab a coffee or go for a walk or grab some dinner or whatever it might be, that I'll experience 80% what we could, I think, typically refer to as rejection. Um, but instead of rejection, I decided to kind of reframe this idea and say, well, it's not really rejection; it's just necessary steps on the path to getting a date. And so I can say, great, um, you know, she was taken, only 4 more. This next one wasn't interested, only 3 more. And there's still not that certainty that for sure within, but the idea is that building from these research findings, we can extrapolate and apply these, and on average, this should yield some results. And if nothing else, we're doing what's within our control. We're exercising our agency in dating.